Oh boy. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another live edition of Carolina Panthers Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram, coming at you live here on the U to the Tube. So, I'm going to just go ahead and let y'all know I don't expect this to be a long video, but had to do it just so that I can pretty much get it over with. So, yeah. Last game of the regular season of 2021-2022. Week 18, Carolina Panthers will travel to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the second time this season. Now, of course, we got obliterated in the first meeting by a final score of 32-6. And to be honest, I don't think this game is going to be any different. I really don't think it's going to be any different. But I guess let's talk about it. The ESPN matchup predictor. 85% chance the Buccaneers win. It really should be more close to like 99% chance. A 14.9% chance Carolina wins, and a 0.1% chance of a tie. And as you can see, we're definitely hurting quite a bit. Had a couple of folks held out and more folks placed on the COVID reserve. Stephon Gilmore, YGM, Yetur Gross-Matos, and Shi Smith. 3 of them got put on the COVID reserve list. CJ Henderson was limited, dealing with knee injury. Derek Brown was a limited participation, dealing with an elbow injury. Sean Chandler and Robbie Anderson were both held out, both with quad injuries, held out of practice. So, I mean, we're definitely going to be missing a lot of people for sure, but it really does not surprise me. They have Davion Nixon on injured reserve. They put Terrace Marshall Jr. on injured reserve. But yeah, Robbie Anderson, Derek Brown are both questionable. Stephon Gilmore, Shi Smith are out. Yeah, let me actually click to see how deep it is. But yeah, YGM is out. Of course, Cameron Irving on IR still. Phil Hoskins is out as well. And just, yeah, it looks pretty loaded. Looks pretty loaded with injuries for us. Hey, Mamba, what's up? Welcome back. I think the only reason why it's only 85% is because of the whole Antonio Brown situation and the players may be distracted. Possibly, but they are playing against us. They're playing against us. So, yeah, I honestly don't expect any more different of a result, to be honest with you. You know, if I can be honest with you. The Buccaneers, of course, they got Leonard Fournette, Giovanni Bernard on IR. Jason Pierre-Paul, Justin Watson, Ryan Jensen are questionable. Richard Sherman's questionable. Rashard Robinson's questionable. Shaquille Barrett is out. The Levante David, injured reserve. They got a handful of folks on injured reserve as well. But yeah, I really don't feel like it'll really matter. People don't give us enough credit for how bad we really are. I don't know. I think the talk of the town, like, it's so bad that apparently at a Charlotte Hornets game, folks were chanting "Fire Matt Rule." That's how bad it is. Even at a Charlotte Hornets game, they were chanting "Fire Matt Rule." It's crazy, but I can't say that I'm surprised. Can't say that I'm surprised. I mean, Sam Darnold still only has 7 touchdowns, and that, he's 7-12. Of course, Tom Brady is 40-12. But honestly, not to mention, you have to also keep in mind that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still playing for a high seed. Right now, they're sitting at the number 3, but depending on if the Rams lose and if the Packers lose and Tampa Bay wins, I think Tampa Bay could get that number 1 seed. Actually, no. Correction. Nah, Green Bay is clinched. Nah, so they have the bye. Green Bay actually does have the bye. So the highest that Tampa Bay could get is the 2 seed. And if the Rams lose and Tampa Bay win, then Tampa Bay gets the 2 seed. But yeah, the Green Bay Packers have secured the number 1 seed in the NFC. So Mamba says, I personally think we are the worst team in the league. I believe the Lions can beat us. Toss up against the Jaguars. You're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. And the Lions, they're 2-13. Jags are 2-14. I mean, I think we would end up beating the Jaguars. The Lions, I'd be more confident in us beating the Jaguars before beating the Lions. But let's take a look at these rankings. I mean, I expect them to be pretty bad. I mean, look at these rankings. On offense, total yards, we're ranked 30th. Tampa Bay ranked 1st. In rushing yards, we're ranked 21st. Tampa Bay is ranked 27th. Well, I guess we have a slight advantage there. In net passing yards, we're ranked 29th. Tampa Bay ranked 1st. So they ranked 1st in net passing yards and total yards a game. Sacks allowed, we're ranked 29th. Tampa Bay ranked 1st. Third down efficiency, we're ranked 26th. Tampa Bay is ranked 2nd. Points per game, we're ranked 29th. Tampa Bay is ranked 2nd. So already, offense, there's no comparison. There's really no comparison between both offenses. Defense. Total yards a game. We're ranked 2nd. I don't know how the heck we're still ranked 2nd. Tampa Bay is ranked 14th. I find that very hard to believe. Rushing yards a game defensively, we're ranked 20th. Tampa Bay is ranked 3rd. Passing defense, we're ranked 2nd. Tampa Bay is ranked 22nd. I still find that hard to believe. Sacks, we're tied for 13th. Tampa Bay is ranked 5th. Mamba says the way that Matt Rule is talking is that he intends to go all out in free agency to address the offensive line. I mean, it's got to happen. The O-line has to be fixed, like by any means necessary. I think it should be a combination of free agents and the draft, but it needs to be fixed ASAP to the fullest. Third down efficiency. We're ranked 10th. Tampa Bay is ranked 15th. Takeaways. We're tied for 24th. Tampa Bay is ranked 6th. Points allowed per game. We're ranked 19th. Tampa Bay is tied for 10th. Don't know about the draft, though. Well, here's the thing. I highly doubt that we're going to address all of our offensive line needs in free agency. I highly doubt that. I feel like that would be really difficult to be able to fix it. Just getting offensive linemen through free agency, that's difficult. That's difficult. It's not impossible, but I think for us it's difficult. I know we are drafting offensive line, just don't know if we do it in the first. I think we got to do it in the first. I think with our positioning, I think we have to. I think we really have to. You know, not only that, but I think because of the fact that when we drafted an offensive lineman in the first, example, Jordan Gross, it ended up working out really, really great. And it's been forever since we've done that. Even since the Jeff Ota, still been years and years ago. So I think for once in a long time, I think we should consider offensive linemen in the first round, especially an Evan Neal or an Iwanu or Charles Cross. I think we got to. I think we got to. But, you know, there is speculation that we could draft a quarterback in the first round. I just really, I don't know. I just really don't feel confident going quarterback in the first round. I think we got to get the best that we can get at offensive line because we haven't had a solid offensive line in a number of years. I think it's time we fully address that. It's time. It's time we fully address that. And if that means going O-line in the first round, I am all for it. But those are the ranking comparisons. So, a couple of things to note. Shaq Thompson is 2 tackles away from reaching 100 tackles this season. And Frankie Louvu has 8 tackles for loss this year, and he's tied for the NFL lead with 3 fumble recoveries. Oh, interesting. And Jeremy Chin currently leads the Panthers with 106 tackles this season. That's neat. But also have to see if because it looks like Brady Christensen will be starting again at left tackle. But it does make me wonder, are we going to see some Deontay Brown in this game? Apparently it was mentioned that Deontay Brown has only played 1 snap this year. But Coach Matt Rule says he hopes to see him in some capacity in this Sunday's game. And Deontay Brown says he's confident he can fit into the mix. But I think the thing is that it comes down to is they need to give him an opportunity. 1 snap is just not enough. I think they need to plug him into this game and see what he can do. It's the last game of the season. Plug in Deontay Brown and see what he can do. I think they need to do that. They really should do that. Because if they don't, then, I mean, it's kind of another waste in the draft. I mean, we already wasted, when you look back at it, we already wasted with Terrace Marshall Jr., and also Thomas Fletcher, the long snapper. So, I mean, we've already wasted. So we need to be able to use what we have. You know, and Shi Smith as well. And Shi Smith has great potential, but he has barely played this season. Mamba says, Big Cat asked a question that I wanted to ask you. What if we do trade back and all of the top offensive linemen are gone? Then that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. The only way that I could see that being a reasonable decision is if we do address the offensive line completely in free agency with a combination of Brady Christensen, then maybe they may take a chance and go elsewhere in the draft. But honestly, trading back is a big risk. I do understand the idea of trying to get a second and third round pick back. I do understand that because we don't have a second and a third round pick right now. But it's going to come at a cost. If we trade back, it's going to come at a cost. Now, how far we trade back, I mean, we'll see. But it's a risk. It's a big risk. I don't know if it's personally a risk I would take, but I think when it comes down to it, that, you know, we have to see how the draft goes in those rounds. Looking at it right now, we have the sixth pick. We have the sixth pick right now. It's Jacksonville, Detroit, Houston, Jets, Giants, then us. So, not to mention the Giants right now have the fifth pick and the eighth pick. The Jets have the fourth pick and the seventh pick. So, Mamba says it's possible that the Giants take two of the top offensive linemen and fix their offensive line for the next decade. Facts. I say no further than the 10th if we do trade back. Well, let me see. According to the Tankathon mock draft, they still have us going Kenny Pickett. They got the Texans getting Evan Neal. And they actually got the Jets getting Derek Stingley Jr. And they got the Lions getting Kayvon Thibodeau, and the Jaguars going Aiden Hutchinson, so the two edge rushers. And they got the Giants going Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. So, I mean, shoot. But the thing is, I think looking at it, I think there's a chance that maybe one of those offensive linemen, whether it's Evan Neal, Ikem Ekwonu, Charles Cross, could potentially still fall to us at 10th. But I honestly don't see Evan Neal falling that far down. I really don't see him falling that far down. Ikem Ekwonu could fall to 10, but I don't know. Maybe Charles Cross. I mean, they have Denver picking up Charles Cross with the 11th pick. So it's not impossible, but Evan Neal, I definitely don't see Evan Neal falling to 10. I really don't. Charles Cross, maybe. Ikwanu, see, he's versatile. So Ikwanu might get picked up before the 10th pick. So, yeah. I really feel like it's very risky. But I do get what you're saying. No further than the number 10 pick. I do get what you mean from there. But I'm thinking let me see. So overall, I mean, huh. The only way I see our position changing, I think if we lose and the Giants lose, or wait, no. If we lose and the Giants win, then I think, don't we take the 5th spot? If we lose and the Giants win, I think if the Giants win and we lose, don't we get bumped up to the 5th pick? Because remember, the Giants have beaten us this season. So wouldn't that technically move us to the 5th spot if we lose and the Giants win? Mamba says all of the Texans' leverage is gone because of Watson's no trade clause. If I'm Deshaun Watson, I would want to go to Denver. Oh, Denver instead of Miami. Mamba says, okay. So yes, yeah, that's what I thought. So that's really the only thing that I could see potentially happen is if Carolina loses and the Giants win, that would move us up to the 5th spot. Because we're not going to go over the Jets. Even if the Jets lose, or even if the Jets win and we lose, because we beat the Jets, we can't take over the Jets spot. So I think the highest that we could get, I'm pretty sure, is the fifth pick. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, to be honest, I really don't have any keys to this game other than, I don't know, get Deontay Brown out there, see what he can do. Let's see what a lot of our young talent can do. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some practice squad folks out there. So see what they can do. And just, try to get some pressure on Tom Brady. But honestly, I really don't have any keys to this game because I really don't see this as being a win. I see us getting obliterated. And honestly, I'm thinking a shutout. I'm thinking something like on the verge of like a 28-0 Tampa Bay. I see a 28-0 Tampa Bay. And that's me being nice. Crazy that we are in the same place we were in last year. Facts. Facts. But yeah. Not to mention, Tampa Bay has only lost once at home this season. Only once. So, I mean, and not only that, now that I think about it, I think depending on what happens, I think the Lions could still possibly get the first round. I think the Lions could still possibly get the first round pick. So, have to see what happens with that. But let me see here. Even though on paper we have a way better team than last year. Oh, yeah, facts. On paper, most definitely. Most definitely. I would agree with you. But let me see here. I'm curious. But yeah, I'm very, if anything, the most that we're really going to see this upcoming game is just see what our young guys can do. They have the projected draft order on ESPN. Actually, they still have Carolina picking 6, but not so much because we win, but because we lose, and maybe the Giants could lose. Now that I think about it, who do the Giants play? Giants play Washington. That could go either way. That could go either way. What's your biggest disappointment this season? I would say CMC. Biggest disappointment? Sam Darnold. Definitely Sam Darnold. See, I can't say CMC because of the player that he is. Sam Darnold's trash. CMC is not trash. He's just had some bad luck with injuries. Hey, Vietnam 26, good to see you. We will probably trade back for more picks if we don't take a top left tackle. Would you agree with what Mamba says? Don't trade back any further than the 10th pick in the first round. Would you agree with that? My biggest disappointment, Sam Darnold. Oh, 1,000,000% agree with you. 1,000,000% agree with you. Definitely Sam Darnold, biggest disappointment. Yeah. Yeah. Mamba says CMC. I can't say CMC. I can't because of what he does bring to the table. And just, it's unfortunate. Vietnam says, I will say no further than the 12th pick. Ooh. That way we will still grab a great player. To be honest with you, Vietnam, I highly doubt Iquanu, Evan Neal, or Charles Cross will fall to the 12th. I highly doubt either of those 3 top offensive linemen will fall to the 12th pick. I highly doubt it. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But yeah, that's 12 is pushing it. Mamba says, in the back of my head, I knew he was going to screw it up. Yeah, I mean, like I said, those first 3 games, I mean, kind of questionable being, the other side of the ball that really helped. Plus the fact of the teams that we did go up against. I mean, we have to admit it was the Jets, Saints, and Texans. Although the Saints did get us back, I mean, there's a fair argument about the Saints because I mean that is a divisional game, but the Jets and Texans, I mean, when you look at it record wise, I can understand the argument for that. But I don't know, Vietnam. 12 may be a little far. Maybe just a little bit. No, but if we spend free agency money on O-line coupled with Brady being our starter, will allow us to take the best player available. Wait, coupled with Brady being our starter? Wait, what do you mean coupled with Brady being our starter? Oh, I'm sorry. Brady Christensen. I'm sorry. I don't know why I was thinking quarterback for a second. You're talking about Brady Christensen. Gotcha. Yeah, we were actually talking about that earlier about a combination of free agency and, the draft, and also kind of considering, have what they've seen out of Brady Christensen, is that enough to really consider him a starter at left tackle? Has he really secured that? Because the thing is, Matt Rule, he looks at him like a guard because his arms are so small. Despite how well he's done, Matt Rule looks at him as T-Rex arms and feels like he's better fit for a guard position. So I don't know how y'all feel about that, but yeah. Mamba says, yeah, I can see the Giants, Houston, etc. Taking top offensive linemen. All of them are going to be gone by the 12th. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. Kyle Hamilton would make our secondary great. I agree. I just don't know if we sacrifice going for him more than an O lineman. But then again, it's also going to depend on who falls to us. Or one of the premier linebackers would help us. They have what's his face kind of high on the list. Nakobe Dean from Georgia. They have Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd, but it looks like Nakobe Dean is pretty up there from Georgia. But I know there's definitely a need at middle linebacker for sure. Definitely a need at middle linebacker. I agree. Mamba says, unpopular opinion, but I say rock with Brady for 1 year and see what we have with him. What do y'all think of that? Oh, you agree, Vietnam? Okay. I mean, in the few games that he's played at left tackle, he has done well and hasn't really given up any sacks. I think there were like 1 or 2 plays in the Saints game where he did get beat, but I think overall Brady Christensen, for the few games he's played, has done pretty well at left tackle, that is. So I don't know. I think there's definitely room for him to grow, but I mean, if they like what they see out of him, that may be something they consider. Taylor Moton, right side, Christensen, left side, and then they're really going to have to load the interior. If they have to keep Pat Elflein at center, keep him at center, nowhere else, but keep him at center. And then we have to really look at those guard positions really, really in detail, because I'm sorry, like I don't think John Miller's it. I don't think Trent Scott is it. And Daly has fallen off. So we have to really look at that interior. I still say maybe think about see if maybe Andrew Norwell would be willing to come back. Because I don't think he's happy in Jacksonville. I don't. I don't think he's happy in Jacksonville. Vietnam says give him all of the reps as a starter in the offseason to develop. Facts. Mamba says Brady has a tendency to let go of his man to help Daly and Miller a lot. That is true. If you look back at those last two games, that is true. Vietnam says I want to see what Deontay Brown will give us. Facts. And I really hope this Sunday's game we can see Deontay Brown. I hope Matt Rule will plug him in and let him play. Let him play for the game. You know, see what he can do. Give him a chance to get a full game in. And why not this game? Why not this game? And we can build the interior with the extra picks from trading back. There's a couple of other things that we have to think about as well. So if we're going to do this, then I am under the assumption that we agree that I guess we're going to give Cam Newton another shot, full offseason and all, and roll with him going into next season. Because I know that we're most likely are going to roll with Sam Darnold because of that fifth-year option. I don't think Sam Darnold's going anywhere. As much as we may want Sam Darnold gone, I don't think he's going either way. I don't think he's going anywhere. I have to go back to work, fellas. I'll catch the rewind. All right, Vietnam. Yeah, it'll be archived, so you know where to go. Thanks for stopping by. Have a blessed day at work. Mama says, I understand why they want to start Cam Irving so bad because they don't want to pay somebody on the bench $10 million. This front office has a real ego problem. That's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point. But just Cam Irving, he's bad. He's just really, really bad. And it makes it even worse being that he was one of the first free agents we picked up. Just, oh my God, it was so bad. But yeah, like, so yeah, back to the point where I was saying, I guess we'd have to agree that overall give Cam a full offseason. And then when you think about it, give Sam Darnold another offseason. But I don't see Sam Darnold going anywhere. And if we bring back Cam, you know, I think it's safe to say that there's going to be competition there at quarterback, according to Matt Rule, I would think. D-line. We also are going to want to think about D-line. D-line, we've had some ups and downs at the D-line. You know, Derek Brown has shown that maybe we need to keep him for another year, at least another year, to see what more we can get out of Derek Brown. I think we need to give him one more year, at least one more year. Bravion Roy has shown some flashes as well. I think he'd be a good rotational player, but you know, we may need to really revamp the D line. You know, definitely YGM. We should definitely keep Hassan Reddick and, you know, Brian Burns. But that interior D-line, we may want to tweak. Mamba says, can't wait to have J.C. Horn back. He was playing extremely well before he got hurt. Oh, facts. I mean, shoot, he got a pick in his second game. So, yeah, J.C. Horn was definitely doing his thing. And, you know, it makes me think about, as a matter of fact, let me go to free agency. Wait, no, that's not where I want to go to. Let me go to the here we go. The free agency tracker. Okay. Team Carolina. Okay. So we got to look at I do want to take a look at this free agency tracker. So we know Stephon Gilmore, Matt Paradis, Cam Newton, Hassan Reddick, Daquan Jones, Justin Burris, Trent Scott, J.J. Jansen, Dante Jackson, John Miller, Frankie Louvu, Julian Stanford, Rashawn Melvin, Alex Erickson, Brandon Zylstra, Sean Chandler, Ian Thomas, P.J. Walker, Marquis Hayes, Jermaine Carter, Giovanni Ricci, and Mike Panasweek will be free agents at the end of the season. Mamba says, but I wish we had drafted Rashawn Slater, then drafted Asante Samuel Jr. Both needs would have been filled. That's a fair point. That is definitely a fair point. And we could have gotten Rashawn Slater, indeed. We could have gotten him. But I think from that list of free agents, like I said, I really hope we can keep Stephon Gilmore. Because, I mean, Stephon Gilmore, you know, he's from the Carolinas. I mean, he's from South Carolina. I think he wants to stay. So I would love to keep Stephon Gilmore. Would be a big veteran presence on the secondary. And the thing is, at least when it comes to the secondary, at least we know that, you know, we'll have J.C. Horn, we'll have C.J. Henderson, we'll have A.J. Bouye, at least for another year. Of course, Keith Taylor, we're still evolving him. Dante Jackson, I love you, but it may be time to let Dante walk. I think it may be time to let Dante walk, unfortunately. But yeah, I think definitely we should keep Stephon Gilmore. Matt Paradis, he can go. Cam Newton, like I said, it really is going to come down to how he feels and, you know, what the organization decides. But personally, I don't think Matt Rule wants to bring back Cam Newton. I don't think he wants to bring back Cam Newton. I mean, we'll have to see how that plays, but I don't see them bringing back Cam Newton. Hassan Reddick, you definitely got to bring him back. If possible, definitely bring back Hassan Reddick. Daquan Jones, Daquan Jones, I don't know about him. I don't feel like he's really done that much this year with us. I mean, I don't know. Daquan, let me see. Daquan Jones. I mean, 17 tackles, a sack, and a forced fumble. I mean, 34 total tackles, 17 of them solo. A sack, a forced fumble. I mean, Mamba says Stefan's wife said that they wanted to stay on Twitter. Oh, that's good. That's good. I hope he can stay. I really, really hope he can stay. That's a big veteran presence on our secondary that we could definitely use. Let's see. Justin Burris, I think we could let him go. I think we could definitely look for a better safety to go alongside Jeremy Chin. But at the same time, also have to think, would it be better if we move Jeremy Chin back to nickel? That's another thing to think about. That's another thing to think about. Trent Scott, we could probably let him go. JJ Jansen, I mean, he'll be 36 this year, so might be time to move on from him. I mean, we did draft a long snapper, so yeah. Dante, probably let him walk. John Miller, let him walk. Frankie Louvu, I think we should definitely keep Frankie Louvu. For sure. We should definitely keep Frankie Louvu. Julian Stanford, questionable. Rashawn Melvin, nah, I think we can afford to let Rashawn walk. Alex Erickson, yeah, we could probably let him walk. Brandon Zylstra, now I would definitely consider keeping Zylstra. I would consider keeping Zylstra, in all honesty. Especially, he's got good hands and he's done well on special teams. So keeping Zylstra might be a good thing. Sean Chandler, I know he's young, but I just don't think he's really done too well. Ian Thomas, I'm on the fence about Ian Thomas. I mean, I know we can definitely evolve Tommy Tremble, but Ian Thomas has made a couple of good plays this year. So, I mean, that's questionable. That's questionable. Mama says, I had a feeling that we should have traded Dante for a second round. Yeah. I mean, when we look at Dante, let me look at how has he done this season. Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson. 61 tackles, 50 solo tackles, one forced fumble, 2 interceptions. So, a lot of tackles, but only 2 interceptions. So, could have done better. Definitely could have done better. But yeah, I think we gotta let him walk. I think we gotta let him walk. PJ Walker. Hey, what's up, Nathan John? PJ Walker. Oh man, we could probably find a better. Well, I like PJ Walker, but he's not it. He's just not it. But I mean, as a third string, But I don't think he's it. I don't think he's it. Marquis Hayes, I would not mind keeping Marquis Hayes just for depth. I think he'd be good to keep for depth. I like Marquis Hayes. I think he would be good to keep for depth on the D line. Kind of have, YGM, Marquis Hayes, coming into the rotation. Not to mention, he's got 18 tackles, 7 of them solo, and 3 sacks. So, I mean, with what Marquis Hayes has done, I mean, I wouldn't mind keeping him in the rotation. Mama says, I really like PJ because the guy is so nice, but I don't know. See, yeah, it's a toss-up. Nathan John says, not staying long, just popping in to say hi. Can't wait for the season to be done. Saw a story that Michigan could go after Matt Rule if Harbaugh leaves as reported. Please take him. Oh, bro. Oh, if Harbaugh? becomes available, oh, they better zone in. David Tepper, you might as well put him on your radar and go for him fast. I would love to get a Jim Harbaugh. And if we can't get him, maybe try going for perhaps Jim Caldwell. I mean, we'll have to see what the coaching situation looks like, but I would totally be fine with Jim Harbaugh. Nah, Harbaugh going to the Raiders, apparently. Really? That'd be a bummer. Well, I wouldn't mind taking Caldwell. I think Caldwell could help change things. I think Caldwell could help turn things around. And Jim Harbaugh played here. That is true. That is true. Nathan John says, I know a guy who reports for the Raiders. Well, I know my dad would love that. He's a Raiders fan. My dad's a Raiders fan. So, yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, definitely I think we should consider bringing back Marquis Hayes. Jermaine Carter, he can go. Jermaine Carter just isn't it. In the middle, Jermaine Carter, he's not it. He's not it. Giovanni Ricci, I mean, maybe, I don't know. We could probably find somebody to take over that fullback position. And Mike Penniswick, yeah, I guess we could let him go. I'm just excited because he said Michigan would go after Matt Rule, let us out of that massive contract. Good point. Good point. Definitely a good point. But I think from the list that I mentioned, I think Stephon Gilmore, Hassan Reddick, Frankie Louvu, Brandon Zylstra, and Marquis Hayes, I think would be good to consider bringing back. I'm iffy on Ian Thomas. I'm iffy on PJ Walker. I'm iffy on Julian Stanford. And I'm a little, well, yeah. So that's who I think, if we were to bring back anybody that played with us, I would consider them. But like I said, secondary, I think we'll be pretty fine with secondary. We're at least going to have, J.C. Horn's going to be coming back. C.J. Henderson, we got C.J. Henderson. He's staying with us for a bit. We still got A.J. Bouye. Keith Taylor, he's been evolving. It looks like Keith Taylor can evolve into a premier player. So I really think secondary, maybe we could consider replacing Dante Jackson. Definitely replacing Justin Burris. We got to go get another safety. But, I think we could do something with, say, J.C. Horn on one end, Stephon Gilmore on the other. And then you got C.J. Henderson, A.J. Bouye, working Keith Taylor. I think that's a good enough secondary. With the cornerbacks, I think we could do something with that. It gives us an opportunity. We get a full offseason for A.J. Bouye, a full offseason for C.J. Henderson. So I think we'll be okay at secondary. I think just with a few tweaks and the safety position. We definitely need to address the safety position. Nathan John says, I like all those players you named to bring back. And yes, I'd cut the ones you're iffy on. Oh, so you would consider not bringing back Ian Thomas? Dante is gone. Should have traded per trade deadline, like Mamba said. Mamba said, I really like Keith Taylor, but he got torched last week. That is true. Nathan John says, that is just terrible planning by the GM, given how loaded we were at cornerback and how we don't have draft picks. So Thomas sucks, bro. Well, he's had a few good plays this year. He hasn't been targeted much, but he's had some good plays when his name was called. They may have been small, but you have to also remember we were in a system that doesn't really use tight ends. I mean, he's only been targeted 30 times this year. Tommy Tremble targeted 30 times. So, I mean, it's hard for me to say because I honestly don't feel like he's gotten opportunities. I feel like Tremble has gotten way more opportunities than Ian Thomas. But I mean, like I said, you have a fair argument though. You definitely have a fair argument. He's made some good plays. So it's like I don't know. It's tough. But you do make a fair argument. Now, something I wanted to point out for you, Nathan John, kind of want to get your thoughts on this. So Vietnam was saying trade back, but no further than the 12th pick. And Mamba was saying trade back, but no further than the 10th pick. Nathan John, how do you feel about trading back? And if so, how far? How far? Mamba says, I did not know Crispin was on Peacock. I thought WWE would just skip over all of his matches. I'm watching Jericho versus Benoit at the Royal Rumble. Nice. Nathan John says, Thomas been here long enough. He's not turning into a Pro Bowler somewhere else. Perhaps, but I still don't feel like he's gotten a lot of opportunity to really. And I don't know if that's necessarily fully his fault, but you know what? Let me check some things. If anything, I felt like the most work he's gotten was his rookie year. He was targeted 49 times, 36 receptions. Well, looking at his stats, I mean, yeah, and he has played in every game in his career. So, you know what, Nathan John, you make a fair point because he has played in every game. He's played in every game since his rookie year. Okay, Nathan John, you make a fair point. You make a fair point. In his 4 years, he's played in every single game. You make a fair point. Fair enough. Fair enough. Because he debuted in 2018. Nathan John says, I don't mind trade back. Just depends how many O linemen go early. We have so many holes on the O line that we could trade back and still get a nice piece to add to it. In response to that, how do you feel about the idea of the team sticking heavily with Brady Christensen and maybe considering other tackle options in free agency and then perhaps go heavy in the draft, maybe on interior linemen? Because right now we have the 6th pick in the first round. If the Giants win and we lose, we would get the 5th pick. It just depends. I really want Cross if he's there. I hate drafting centers early, but Tyler Lindenbaum is a beast. I don't see Tyler Lindenbaum going high. I think he'll go in the first round, but not high. But honestly, Evan Neal, I definitely don't see falling to 10 or further. And Iquanu, who's versatile, can play interior or outside. He might fall to 10, but I doubt it. Charles Cross is hit or miss. I think he could fall to 10 or 11 or earlier. It just depends. Could get him in around the 10th to 15 pick. Oh, Tyler Lindenbaum. It's funny you mentioned that. They actually, on the Tankathon mock draft, they actually have Tyler Lindenbaum falling to the Raiders at the 18th pick. You know? And then we have to also consider, I think the Raiders still have a chance to make the playoffs. So, but yeah, they actually have him falling to the 18th to the Raiders. Interesting. They have Charles Cross falling to the 11th and getting picked up by the Broncos. So I'm definitely confident that we would have the opportunity to get a premier lineman at the 10th. Yeah, Nathan John. According to Tankathon, Charles Cross, number 11. Number 11 to Denver. If we can trade back and get him, I'd be stoked. Yeah. Agreed. That would be a good pickup for the Raiders. Yeah. Raiders been lacking on center for a while. And the Raiders are another team that could use tweaking to their O-line because their O-line has suffered a lot of injuries. But they have Evan Neal going at number 3 to the Texans, which you best believe the Texans are definitely going to go O-lineman. Although you have to also consider, they're probably going to build up Davis Mills. I forgot. They did get Davis Mills in the last draft. So they're probably not going to go quarterback. Yeah, they're most likely definitely going Evan Neal. But and Kyle Hamilton, I mean, would be nice considering we need a safety, but I definitely look at O-line as more important. Yeah, trading back seems like the plan if quality O-linemen are there. Get a second round pick back. Yeah, because we don't have a second nor a third. Mamba says, I don't know. They might take a defensive player. Who? The Texans? You think the Texans, or are you talking about Carolina? Nathan John says, use that on a guard or center. I mean, we do have F-line still at center, which I think we have him for 1 or 2 more years. But definitely not the best center for sure. But I don't know, something to think about. I mean, when they moved him over the center, he did do better than where he was on the line. So, I mean, I guess that's something. Not saying a whole lot, but that's something. But interesting enough, they have the Jets. They have the Jets going with Derek Stingley Jr. at cornerback and then Garrett Wilson at wide receiver with the 4th and 7th pick. And see, the Jets, they have 2 picks within the first 10 rounds, or the first 10 picks. So that's something to think about. The Giants have 2 picks within the first 10 as well. The Giants could potentially get Kyle Hamilton with the 5th pick and Ikem Ikwanu with the 8th pick. Mamba says, because I heard that they are high on this one left end. He was a Heisman. Conversations, I forgot his name. Nathan John says, Calvin Ridley wants out of Atlanta. Said he wants to be traded in a fresh. Really? Yes, please. Calvin Ridley? Yes, please. I would totally be down for Calvin Ridley. Shoot. Calvin Ridley? Shoot. Dude is still young. 27 years old. I mean, he hasn't done a lot this season due to injury, but I mean, we got to remember he had an incredible 2020. 90 catches, 1,374 yards, 9 touchdowns. They aren't trading him to a division rival. Yeah, that's a good point. That they would be crazy to do that. But shoot. He would be nice to have. He would definitely be nice to have. But at least we know you know who I want, Blitz? Your boy Braxton Barrios. He has looked amazing in the Jets second half of the year. Yeah, that is true. That is true. And he has potential to evolve more and more into a premier receiver. He's done well special teams. And like I said, he's a Raleigh, North Carolina native. And, you know, my brother coached him in Little League. You know, Braxton Barrios, although he's a small guy, he is a small guy, but he's shifty. He's good in special teams, and he's done well in the slot. So, I mean, and he's been mostly healthy. You know, he had the one injury that kept him out of action, if I remember correctly, his first year. But aside from that, ever since 2020, he's seen a lot more action. But I think since because yeah, that's right, he was with the Patriots. Yeah, that's right, he was with the Patriots. But ever since he came to the Jets, he's gotten a lot of action. A lot of action. Would love him as a slot receiver. Yeah, he would be nice. Back in the Carolinas. Free agent this offseason. Talk of the Jets trying to re-sign, but his agent wants to wait. Interesting. Great return man, but his receiving has been excellent. Check his stats. Rated the number 2 wide receiver by PFF this past week. He's definitely been getting a lot of catches so far this year. 46 receptions for 431 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's gotten a lot of catches. Gotten 37 catches last year. Went up to 46 catches this year. He's definitely been getting a lot more touches. Recently had a big, 102, 103 yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Pretty much ran that back for the touchdown untouched. Shoot. Mamba says his name is Aiden Hutchinson. He said that he hopes he is drafted to the Texans, and I heard the Texans like him. Word is Aiden Hutchinson could potentially be first-round pick. They actually have him on the Tankathon going first round to the Jags, the Jaguars. So he could potentially be a first round pick, if not Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But it'll be very interesting to see where the Jaguars go. because we still have to remember we could get either the Jaguars or the Lions might get that first pick. Yeah, first overall. Yes. Yes. Yes, that is correct. But Nathan John, in all honesty, and Mamba, you can chime in on this, and anybody else in the chat. How shocked would you be if we ended up taking Kenny Pickett in the first round? And just play scenario here. How would y'all really feel if we did go Kenny Pickett first round? Because they have us. Tankathon mock draft has Carolina picking Kenny Pickett. So just something to think about. Yeah, they talk like Hutchinson is JJ Watt reincarnated, so he must be a beast. Nathan John says, I think it's better than 50%, and I'd hate it. All these quarterbacks don't belong in the first round. Pickett reminds me of Darnold. Interesting. Wow. Draft Wire. Let me see. Draft Wire actually has. Wire has Carolina going Matt Corral from Ole Miss. Ooh, interesting. Wow. They actually have Carolina going Matt Corral from Ole Miss. Mamba says, I wouldn't be shocked knowing how our front office is, and we have been heavily scouting him. That's the thing. We've been heavily scouting Pickett. Nathan John says, Matt Corral sucks even more. Oh, worse than Pickett. Let's see. PFF. PFF has Carolina Panthers going Evan Neal with the 6th pick. I would be very shocked if Evan Neal falls to number 6. I would be very shocked. And they actually have the Texans going Derek Stingley Jr. with the third pick. Wow. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, PFF has us going Evan Neal. Let's see. Let's look at a few more. I'm kind of curious. Let's look at a few more. Walter Football. WalterFootball.com has Carolina going Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty. What do y'all think about Malik Willis? There are some folks out there that are kind of, if we got to go quarterback, consider Malik Willis. But Nathan John says, from my observations on Pickett, good sneaky athleticism, can make some incredible throws on the move, throws off the back foot too often and panics too often when under pressure in the pocket, tries making too many hero plays. And a lot of folks say he's only had one good year. That's what I hear a lot of folks say. He's only had one good year. Mamba says, Matt Corral worries me because he is a one-read system. So basically, we might as well start Darnold. And Nathan John says, Malik Willis, not that early. Not that early. The Tankathon has Malik Willis going at number 30 to the Lions. Interesting. So they could have him play behind Jared Goff. That'd be interesting. That'd be really interesting. Oh, Nathan John, I'm actually glad you're here. I got a question for you. And Mamba, you can chime in as well. But there, which I think, Mamba, you were there last time I mentioned about this. But I kind of want to get Nathan John's thoughts. Here we go. Nathan John, check this out. What do you think about this? And if you told me this before, I do apologize if I just totally forgot. But I gotta get your thoughts on this while you're here. Says, yeah, Pickett pulled out of the draft last season because his stock was 5th to 7th round pick. Now he's a top 10 pick. Wow, says it all, really. Fair point. So check this out. Catscrave.com. 6 realistic options for the Carolina Panthers to solve the quarterback crisis in 2022. Check this out. What do you think? Either 1, give Sam Darnold another chance, one more chance. 2, re-sign Cam Newton. 3, go after Mitchell Trubisky. 4, go after Marcus Mariota. 5, try to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. Or 6, try to trade for Derek Carr. What are your thoughts on that? And let me know if I need to repeat any. And anybody else in the chat, feel free to chime in. But what are your thoughts on that? What they call the 6 realistic options for Carolina to pursue at quarterback to solve the quarterback crisis in 2022. I'm very curious. And also, here, let me go back to. I'll even throw in one more. What do y'all think about throwing Baker Mayfield into the mix? What about Baker Mayfield? I'm gonna throw that 7th option in there. Baker Mayfield. Mama says, "Wow, Derek Carr. That is one that I have not heard yet." Yeah, that was on the list. Nathan John said, "I'd rather keep Darnold or Cam, honestly. Sick and tired of taking other teams' quarterbacks. They don't solve any issues. Haven't we learned our lesson?" That's a fair argument. That is a fair argument. I don't want to trade for any team's quarterbacks unless that person's name is Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers. Interesting. I also, here's another one I came across. 5 free agents the Carolina Panthers should aggressively pursue in 2022. Number 1, offensive guard Brandon Sheriff from Washington. Offensive tackle Terron Armstead from the Saints. Connor Williams, offensive guard from the Cowboys. Harold Landry, outside linebacker from the Titans. And David Njoku, tight end from the Cleveland Browns. Interesting. Draft a quarterback in next year's draft. Stick with Cam or Darnold. Next year, We will be a lost season anyway, given our roster and schedule. We just need a bridge quarterback to tread water. I mean, if next year's a lost season, then rules got to go bye-bye then, which I guess if it's another bad season, that would be an easy decision, you would think. Give me Sheriff. He's a beast guard, brings an attitude. He's mean. I love the way he plays. Would be nice. Cap hit is 18.03 million. Ugh. But as said, we need a makeover. And the thing is, if there's terms can't be agreed with Washington, maybe that's somebody Carolina should heavily pursue. Mamba says, Deshaun Watson put up MVP-type numbers with the worst receiving core in the NFL, the worst coach in the NFL, and the worst offensive line in the NFL, followed with one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I mean, yeah, he was a top 5 quarterback. He was a top 5 quarterback. Nathan John says he's one of the top 3 guards in the NFL, my opinion. Definitely a lot of positives talked about. And apparently it wouldn't be the cheapest option, but it would instantly turn the Carolina Panthers O-line into a big positive, to a big positive. He's like a Quentin Nelson. He's nasty and will bring others along with him. It's a good point. It's a really good point. Ooh, they got so much on here. Ooh. 5 dream head coaching hires if the Panthers remove Rule. Number 1, Eric Bieniemy would be nice. Number 2, Mike Tomlin. Ooh, how would you like to have Mike Tomlin as your coach? AFM. This whole season, our offense played like we were in the preseason. Facts. Nathan John says he makes up for it in attitude. He's a leader. Our O-line is so soft. We need a sheriff. Yeah. It's a good point. So, number 1, Eric Bieniemy. Number 2, Mike Tomlin. Number 3, Pete Carroll. 4, Jim Caldwell. I had mentioned Jim Caldwell. Would be nice to have him. Would be very nice to have him. Number 5, Kevin O'Connell. Interesting. Mamba says, I would give my house for Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin would be a ginormous steal. But here's the thing. Isn't what Mike Tomlin, he's never had a losing record with the Steelers? Isn't that the thing with Mike Tomlin? Since coaching the Steelers, he's never had a losing record. Let's see. Or scratch losing record, but losing season. That's what I meant to say. Losing season. I like Carroll and Tomlin. I want a coach with NFL experience. Yeah, facts. AFM, give us a good offensive coordinator and draft some O-line, and we'll be all right. Yeah, definitely need to patch some big holes in the O-line, but let's not fully forget about the defense. We need to tweak that D line. We need a middle linebacker, and we need a safety. So, if not answer than the draft, definitely look at potentially free agency for those positions. Mamba says, yeah, in 15 years, not one losing season, longest streak ever. Yeah, Mike Tomlin, oh man, he would be a big culture change for the Carolina locker room. Shoot, if we had Mike Tomlin, shoot, sign me up. But also, if y'all gotten a chance to look at the schedule for next year, y'all gotten a chance to look at that. Whoo! Schedule scares me. Got to play San Fran, the Cardinals again, the Steelers, the Browns. The Browns beat us last time we played them. Keep that in mind. Broncos beat us last time we played them. And I don't even remember the last time we beat the Steelers. That wasn't a preseason game. We hadn't beaten San Fran in a while. We got to play the Rams, the Seahawks, the Ravens, the Bengals. Shoot. Next season's schedule is much harder than this year's. We had like what the second or third easiest schedule this season, and look how that turned out. Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll got a great record with the Seahawks too. You got to remember, Russ wasn't much when they won the championship. Just a game manager, built his team around defense and a run game. Beast mode and Legion of Boom. Beast mode and Legion of Boom. Tomlin had Hall of Fame talent his whole career. That is a good point. I'd love either. Mamba says, yeah, nothing but playoff caliber teams next year. Facts. Not to mention the Bengals, Rams, Seahawks, Ravens. Those are all away games. But at the same time, we can't get so high on those because we've only won 2 home games this year. So, phew. And next year, we got to play the Broncos, the Steelers, the Niners, the Cardinals, and the Browns. Shoot. Realistically, the only team on this schedule I could see us winning is the Lions and maybe the Giants. But then again, we lost to the Giants this year. All right, Nathan Johns, good to see you. I'll catch up with you in the next video. But yeah, realistically, next season on paper, I could only see us beating the Lions and maybe the Giants if we're lucky. Because you best believe the Seahawks are not going to have the same type of record next year that they did this year. I can tell you that right now. The Ravens, tough. Bengals, I believe they're going to the playoffs. Am I correct in that? Bengals are going to the playoffs, right? Yeah, they won their division. Shoot, when was the last time the Bengals won their division? That's crazy. It has been a hot minute since the Bengals have won their division. So, and we got to play them next year. And Joe Burrow, right now, Joe Burrow is having a near MVP-like season. Like, I know it's only his, second year, but Joe Burrow is beasting right now. Joe Burrow, 4,611 yards passing, 34 touchdowns 14 interceptions. Yeah. Joe Burrow is beasting in his sophomore year. And the thing that's crazy, even in his rookie year before he got hurt, played 10 games, 2,688 yards, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Shoot. Not only that, this season he has a 70.4 completion percentage. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it'll be his third year, but Joe Burrow looks like a beast this year. And despite being sacked 51 times, like, Joe Burrow is playing with MVP-like numbers this season. I'm just saying. Had to have been like 35 years ago. Yeah. It's definitely been a very long time. I think the last time the Bengals won their division, I think Carson Palmer and maybe Ocho Cinco was still playing. I know it was definitely when Marvin Lewis was coaching. So it's been a hot minute. But yeah, man, these teams for next season, scary. Very scary. The Ravens, the Rams. And the thing with the Rams, Matthew Stafford, I believe, he's been playing great since joining the Rams. Hold on, let me take a look at this. Matthew Stafford. Oh yeah, Matthew Stafford's killing it. 4,648 yards passing, 38 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, a QBR of 63.5. Oh yeah, Matthew Stafford's killing it in Los Angeles. No, not that recent, but because the Ravens were extremely good. True. But I know it's definitely been a hot minute. I don't know how long, but it's been a hot minute. But man. And then the Seahawks, we'll have to see what happened with the Seahawks with the quarterback situation. I don't know if Russell's going to want out. So that could be changing. But yeah, and then of course Kyler Murray, he's been getting better and better each season. We'll have to see how the quarterback situation in San Fran looks. Also, same as the Steelers. We have to also remember, this potentially being Big Ben. Well, I think it's official that Big Ben is retiring. So Steelers are going to be in line for a quarterback next season. And we'll have to see what happens with Baker Mayfield because he's another iffy one. But yeah, there's But like I said, going back to the original subject of this video, Tampa Bay, Carolina, final game of the season. I think we're going to get obliterated 28-0. I mean, you have to remember, we lost to Tampa Bay 32-6 in the last home game of the season. And not to mention the Bucs are going to be playing hopefully for that number 2 seed. So they're going to be playing with their best guys that are available. So I definitely don't see Carolina winning this game. If anything, I would love to see Christensen get more involved, Deontay Brown get a shot. Last game of the season, let him play the full game. let him play, see what he can do. Maybe get STO in there, see what he can do if he's available. I don't think he is, but we'll see. And just somebody make a play. Show me something. That's all I can really say. Mamba says, I think we can pull some upsets. Next season, we'll see, but I'm not confident. It really depends on how our roster looks going into next season. Joe Valesco, the last time the Bengals won their division was 2015. So yeah, that was a good handful of years ago. That was 6 years ago. So yeah. Or actually, no, 7 years ago. Forgot. Yeah. So yes, it's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what we may see Sunday out of this team with what's left of this team. And like I said, if we lose and the Giants win, we get that 5th pick. So that's something to keep an eye on. And who knows what will happen with Coach Matt Rule. We're going to have a very interesting offseason. But like I said, they got eliminated because of that dirty play from Vontaze Burfict to Antonio Brown. Oh, yeah. Which, I don't know. The recent reports, Antonio Brown might have a case. Because apparently, I don't know. There's the whole thing where he was supposed to be held out due to what was a knee injury or ankle injury or something like that. So, but apparently they said that they tried to schedule an evaluation with an outside orthopedic specialist, but Antonio Brown declined. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but supposedly yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the whole Antonio Brown situation. But he might have a case, might try to sue. We'll see what happens. Yeah, they unlawfully fired him. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But yeah. That's pretty much all that I have for y'all. Like I said, I don't see us winning this game. I think we're going to get shut out. I'm not even convinced that shoot. I mean, we had 2 back-to-back games of 7 sacks. Couldn't get a single sack on Brady. So, not to mention they have like 2 or 3 Pro Bowlers on that offensive line. So, yeah. Normally I would say play with some heart, but honestly, I don't know. Maybe I'm not the only one, maybe I am, but realistically, I'm just about ready for them to get through this game. I'll be watching it, but I'm just about ready for them to just get through this game. Hopefully nobody gets hurt. Hopefully some of the fresh talent, the rookies or whatnot, can get some plenty of reps in and show us something. Like I said, Brady Christensen, Deontay Brown, Keith Taylor. Show us something. But the only thing that I'm hoping for with this game is just nobody gets hurt and we just get this game over with. If I can be honest with y'all. So, because there's really not a whole lot more I can really say, but just let's get it done. Anyway, that's really all that I have. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. But no matter what happens, keep pounding. We're going to get through this some way, somehow. And yeah, when it's bad that you have fire Matt Rule chants at a Charlotte Hornets game, I don't think we're going to see any less in this game. And we'll be in Tampa Bay. That's the scary thing about it. But P-Split, it's going to be a very interesting offseason. Oh, I think we're going to have the most interesting offseason in the entire league. I'm willing to bet on that. But thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all so much for chiming in and giving your thoughts on everything that's going on and with this matchup. But I just hope we can eventually stop the bleeding. But it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. How worse remains to be seen. But anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. This is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram signing off for this Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all soon. I'm out. Peace. Keep pounding.